Hello Power Daggers Lightning Collection fans, and welcome back to Lightning Storm, the series where lightning always strikes twice as we talk about everything that has happened in the past week for the Power Daggers Lightning Collection. Not a crazy week of news, we just have a couple little things to talk about here, a lot of QC stuff to talk about here with some crazy Lost Galaxy Greens to talk about, so let's go and get right on into it. So first up for this week, we have the Power Daggers actually being released from Big Bad Toy Store. So last weekend I talked about how they were in stock on Big Bad Toy Store, and they still currently are if you have not picked up a set of them for yourselves and you want to go ahead and get them from BBTS right before Christmas here, although they're probably not going to arrive in time because Big Bad Toy Store does sometimes take a pretty good amount of time to ship out items, but they have started to arrive for some people, so we have some pretty cool displays out there of them. A really nice little video out there from Geek Status TV about them, who actually posted this really nice picture of kind of our Power Blaster so far, which, yeah, this tweet is correct. It is certainly going to be a very massive Power Blaster if Hasbro fully commits to making the Power Axe and the Power Bow, which I don't know if they're going to do that, but if they are, I can't even imagine the price points of those, but we have everything that I think could be reasonably released at the level that they have currently already released them, with the sword, the lance, and the daggers, and they are going to go great with the upcoming Yellow Ranger helmet that is being released next year that Hasbro has still not confirmed its existence of yet, but it's coming. So the Power Daggers, there will be a link for them in the description below, and I will be picking them up when they are on sale and not $132, but that's just my personal opinion on that. Next up for this week, we have a pretty cool little promotion going on Hasbro Pulse right now for the Selfie Series. So the Selfie Series, I've already done plenty of videos on here on the channel, unboxing my Red Ranger one, unboxing my Pink Ranger one, but there's a really cool one going on right now for a holiday promotion, or it's not really a promotion, but it's kind of a cool little thing to do if you're looking for someone, or looking for a gift for somebody for the holidays here. You can actually gift a Hasbro Selfie Series figure code to a friend or family member of your choice. And the way that it works is that you purchase a gift code, and then you enter the person's email in at checkout, and all they have to do is download the Hasbro Pulse app, scan themselves, customize their figures, and get their shelves ready for their own 6-inch gift to arrive. So basically, it's a really cool thing here, so you can basically buy somebody else a Selfie Series figure, but since they're going to have to go through the whole process of scanning their own head to make the Selfie Series figure, of course you can't do that for them necessarily, so it's a cool way to actually be able to give a Selfie Series figure as a gift to somebody. It is also still at the $60 price point for this little promotion, or this little holiday thing here, which I think is definitely really interesting. I definitely would have expected at this point for this to fully move over to the 80. Maybe they're just going to stay and commit at the 60. It's definitely the better price point for these, while they're still kind of working out the very early kind of weird turnouts that some of these have, but sometimes they're pretty good. I've talked about many times in my videos. My Pink Ranger one, not so good. My Red Ranger one, once I added some glasses to it, really good. So right now the gift code must be claimed and redeemed within 45 days of the email to the recipient, and after that it will be expired, and basically if that never gets used, the person will just get an order cancellation and a refund. So even if somebody never uses it that you try to give it to a gift to, it's not the end of the world, you'll get a refund on it. But I think it's a pretty cool little thing that they're offering for the holidays. I don't know if it's going to be something that they keep as an option, because I mean, this would be perfect for people's birthdays and stuff like that as well. It doesn't just have to be a holiday present. So I think this is a pretty cool thing that Hasbro's offering, and there'll be a link to it in the description below if you want to give somebody that you know a Hasbro Selfie Series figure for the holiday season. So it looks like a couple more Lightning Collection figures might be able to squeeze their way out here, being released at the very end of the year, because apparently Toku Collectibles has actually shipped out the other two of the Street Fighter figures, the Morphed Ken and the Morphed Cammy figures that we saw during Hasbro PulseCon. So those were originally slated to be 1 or 2 months, maybe even 3 months in some stores, after the original Ryu and Chun-Li figures came out. But of course those ones came out a little bit earlier, so it's not super surprising that these ones are as well. Now they don't appear to be in stock on Toku Collectibles, but I did get tagged in a tweet that said that they were shipped out via their pre-orders, so it does seem like they are shipping. I have yet to see anybody actually have them in hand yet and have all 4 of the Street Fighter collaborations together in one place, but it does seem like it's definitely something that might be happening here pretty soon, so I would not be surprised if other stores kind of start bumping up their dates, especially stores like Big Bad Toy Store. I'm kind of surprised they already haven't done that, so we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But basically, if you're expecting Ken and Cammy a little earlier, it looks like it's probably going to happen. And then finally for this week, we have some quality control to talk about. Lightning Collection's greatest quality, not really, because it's never so. It's always a whole mess. So we saw some weird stuff happen this week. So of course we've been talking about quality control the entirety of this year. I mean, we've been talking about it well before this year, but like with this year with the ninjas, and of course as well with Time Force Blue and Lunar Wolf, which that wasn't necessarily quality control, that was a design problem, while the other things were a quality control, in actual paint applications out of the factory and actual like accessories and pieces and everything of the finished products. So we've been seeing, I wouldn't usually talk about this if this was like an isolated incident, and it still kind of technically is, but we have like a pair of weird isolated incidents here with Lost Galaxy Green from Wave 12. So this is very bizarre to me, and I gotta say, it took a good amount of time for me to notice what the actual problem with the figure was. Because I was looking at it, and basically my buddy Adam on Twitter posted this picture of a Lost Galaxy Green figure that he found at his Target. And I'm looking at this picture, and I'm like, what is wrong with it here? I'm like, he has the correct head. Because I was like, at first I was like, oh no, did he have like a TJ head or something when it should be Damon? Like, that'd be weird. I'm looking at it, I'm like, no, the head looks fine, the accessories are there. And then eventually I look at the boots. So the boots, one of them is the Lost Galaxy boots. The other one is a Mighty Morphin Diamond Powder boot. So clearly, I'm assuming, a boot that was supposed to go to Adam from Wave 12, and then somehow got mixed up with a Damon here. But then it gets weirder, so we had kind of a companion post to this, posted a day later on Twitter by Stratos Maka, which basically is the exact opposite, or not really opposite, but like the exact companion piece to this, where it has a Mighty Morphin Black boot on the right foot and a proper Lost Galaxy one on the left foot. If we could swap these two together, you'd have one complete Lost Galaxy Green, and you'd have one that were stuck with all Mighty Morphin boots. What? It's just so bad. I've never seen that happen. I've never seen figure pieces from a completely other figure end up in this. At least I'm pretty sure that's never happened. I'm trying to remember now. Has that ever actually happened? Maybe it has, honestly. Because most of the time it's just you get like a duplicate of the same piece, like the wrong hands or something, or you are missing an accessory, or it's a weird paint application. It's usually not a piece from a completely other figure gets put onto a completely different figure. So of course this just brings up the whole quality control in the Lightning Collection again, which is just not good at all, especially with, the whole thing about it has always been a problem, especially recently, but with the plastic-free packaging, it just elevates it to a completely different level of bad. But there could possibly be a silver lining here. So there is one thing about the quality control that has been relatively consistent, and that is its inconsistencies kind of start from one main point, and that is the transition to making the figures in Vietnam. So in the past, every single Lightning Collection item was made in China. I'm pretty sure pretty much every single one. There might have been one or two exceptions to that. Well, starting with the Ninja Rangers, which if you remember was one of the big first areas where they had a very bad quality control problem. That's also where we started getting tape on the different sides of the boxes, and not necessarily over the main little flap that you open to open up the bottom of the box. And everything plastic free has been manufactured there as well with the packaging. So it does seem that the factories that they have in Vietnam are probably the problem here. But the silver lining I was talking about is that there's actually a couple of job opportunities up on the Hasbro job site for quality control people at their Vietnam factories. Which is a silver lining in the regards to that there is somebody that they're looking for to try to fill that role. But it definitely kind of implies that there isn't somebody in that role right now, necessarily. Or if there is, they're doing a very bad job of that. So hopefully they find somebody to fill those roles so we can actually get some proper good Lightning Collection figures come out here, because with the plastic free, it's just, you're never gonna be able to see these things in stores. Because with the boots thing, it's kind of funny because you can see that on the shelf and kind of go oh, that's weird. Maybe buy it for a fun little novelty thing of just this weird misprint that comes like that. But then, you're not stuck with that being the one that you have necessarily. You're not necessarily with that with the plastic free either, but it's just been really bad so far with that. So you never know what you're going to get when you open it up. You might not even get the correct figure inside, which has happened with a lot of other Hasbro brands with their plastic frees. So like I said, hopefully they will find somebody to fill that position and fill it soon, and somebody that will do a good job, because this is going to majorly affect the line going forward if this continues to keep happening. Now for the most part, it kind of happened with the ninjas, and maybe it's going to happen with Deluxe Wave 2 and Wave 12, but the more the figures kind of become their peak saturation in the markets, where it's kind of the majority of the ones that are they've manufactured all the ones of them that they're going to make, the QC problems do seem to get a little bit better. A lot of times it's the earlier batches that kind of have the messed up stuff. It doesn't excuse that, and it's always kind of one of those things where it's unfortunate for collectors like myself who try to get the figures pretty much right when they come out. But in that regard, hopefully we can get somebody who's actually qualified for this to have some really good quality control so we can actually get these figures looking the way that they're supposed to, and the way that at least that they're advertised to, because we're not even at that part yet. So hopefully we can get it fixed sooner rather than later. Alright, and with that is everything we have to talk about for this week for the Power Rangers Lightning Collection. And of course, until next time, I'd love to know your guys' thoughts on everything I talked about down in the comments below. And of course, you guys can follow me on Twitter at LivingRangerKey or LightningFigPR. And I'll see you all in Lightning Storm. This is where lightning always strikes twice.